Another question I often get is how much I should be paying for mastering. So today, I thought I'd break down that question and go over some of the rates. Stay tuned. Okay, before we get into how much you should be paying for mastering, let's talk about what you're getting with mastering. Number one, you're getting listening skills. Good mastering engineers and expert mastering engineers have excellent listening skills. They've trained their ears, including myself. I've trained my ears to listen to frequencies. I can hear decibel differences, reverbs, distortions, saturations, panning, stereo imaging, you name it. Good mastering engineers can hear things a lot different than most people. And you're also listening in a tuned environment on some really high-end speakers, which can really change the game between, say, a bedroom producer or just working in another studio. Taking it to another space can give you a totally different sense of the music. And a good mastering engineer will know what to do right away. Number two is objectivity. A good mastering engineer is going to be able to take your music and listen with objective ears. They're not going to be stuck in the weeds like you might be. You might be working on your same song for hours, or you might have been recording at a studio for days to get your album done. And you might be caught in the weeds on the mix, or a mix engineer might just be caught in the weeds and has listened to it so many times. A good mastering engineer will be able to listen to the song and instantly know what's wrong and how to fix it. A good mastering engineer will also push back and get things fixed in the mix, but having an objective ear towards your music is the next step in getting your music to the next level. Number three is professional advice. A good mastering engineer will give you advice that you might not realize. It might just be one of those things that you overlook, or it could be some technical advice, whether that be going to vinyl or Apple Digital Masters or various things that mastering engineers have to know about. So if you need some professional advice, I myself like to receive mixes and give my clients advice even before we go to mastering. What this does is ensures that we get a better master for their music together. A lot of times I'll go back and forth on email about the mixes. I'll give them pointers about their mix, what they can improve. And over time, my clients see repeat improvement after every master and every song they mix. And I start to see better and better mixes coming in from them because it's a learning process that they're building, and they're building a trust with me. So professional advice is huge. Number four, I kind of mentioned this before, but you're getting your music listened to in acoustically treated and tuned environment on high-end monitors. That's really important. If you think about it, you need to be able to listen to the nuances of the music and spot the problems. And to be able to spot those problems, you have to have those good ears. But that is key when looking for a mastering engineer. For example, DDP files, which are also known as Disc Description Protocol, which get encoded into CDs. We obviously don't use CDs much these days, but DDP files are a great way to archive your masters. Another thing that mastering engineers are knowledgeable about is mastering for vinyl, or Apple Digital Masters, like I mentioned before, having a certification to get your badge in the Apple Store. I have a video on that. If you're curious about what Apple Digital Masters is, I'll leave you a link, so go ahead and check that out. So let's get into how much you should be paying for mastering. A relatively good mastering engineer will charge anywhere from $100 to $300 a song. And that can vary depending on how many revisions you need or how many versions you might need. It just depends on the project. Now, that's per song. So if you're looking at a full album, it's going to be that times the song. So if it's a 10-song thing, it'll be that number times 10. So make sure you get your quotes and you understand what you're walking into. Some mastering engineers like myself will give you a free stereo mastered sample if you're a first-time client. Check my link below and get your free stereo mastered sample today. Now, if you're trying to get stem mastering, you can expect to pay $200 to $500 for one track. Stem mastering entails taking 5 stems, usually the drums, the bass, the vocals, the instruments, and the percussion, and sending those to the mastering engineer, which they can then further enhance those stems and fix any problems. The number one thing to remember about stem mastering, though, is you want to preserve the levels of the mix. So a lot of the things that I will do with stem mastering is even out my moves on the stem so your mix stays intact. So if I'm doing an EQ boost, I'll even that out back with level to make sure I don't alter your mix, because otherwise you're getting into a stem mix master, which might be common in dance music where you might get like 8-9 stems and break out the kick and the claps and each bass and maybe a couple other things, where that's getting a little bit more deeper and a lot more work from just normal mastering. Now, what you should get with mastering is you should get your final print files. If you need DDP files or if you want streaming files or masters for vinyl, they're all going to be different. So make sure that you ask your mastering engineer about all of those things depending on your needs. Also, I want to mention some lower price points. You might find some mastering engineers from as low as $5 to $100. I would be cautious moving forward with those mastering engineers. I'm not talking bad about any of them, but I have a video on how to avoid audio mastering scams that I made a long time ago. So I'll leave you a link to that down below and you can check that out. Obviously, if you're trying to stay within a budget and you might not have a lot of options, that could be a good option. Or you might want to check out some of those automated mastering services. Human mastering versus AI mastering. I did do a video on that. Check that out. I have a link below. That will really show you the differences there because nothing will beat a human master. Last but not least, we have higher price points. There are some mastering engineers that work on high-grade professional music, which you see on all the Billboard charts, that can charge onwards of $1,000 to $1,200 or maybe more per song. And you can imagine per album that can add up to quite a lot. So those are the various price ranges you can expect to pay for mastering. If you find someone that you like to work with, talk to them about potentially working in your budget if you're sending a lot of stuff. There is an opportunity to make a relationship with your mastering engineer, and I think that is very important and often overlooked. I think sometimes artists jump from mastering engineer to mastering engineer, and that can cause a wild variety of results. So if you have any questions about how much you should be paying for a mastering engineer, drop me a comment below and I'll do my best to answer it. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and the bell notification will keep you up to date. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and have a great day.